Well, I be my savage. I know I don't do this much. You know what I'm saying? Reaction from a real savage. Y'all already know what it is. They murder Hornets out here, but I don't even look. Look, man. Look. 2020 happened. Kobe died. R.I.P. Then Rona came out. It messing up the world. And then they saying we got murder hornets, boy. Murder hornets.
You're screwed. Yeah, you're totally screwed.
And just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, an invasive and potentially deadly hornet has been found in the U.S. for the very first time. Asian giant hornets, nicknamed murder hornets, have a venomous sting that can kill someone if they're stung several times. They're even strong enough to puncture a beekeeper's suit. Scientists say the 2-inch-long hornets were spotted in Washington state in December and have been attacking beehives. It's still unclear how they made it to the U.S.
Oh my goodness. It's unclear how they made it to the U.S. You know how I made it to the U.S., bro. I'm telling y'all, man. Y'all know what... They know what's going on. They know exactly what's going on. They gonna say they don't know how I made it to...
So I'm screwed. You're screwed. That's the right attitude.
Bruh. Let me look y'all dead in the eye, bro. What am I saying? Don't worry about that quarantine look, though. This slightly, you know what I'm saying? They know how these hornets got over here. They flew across that water. How they fly across that water from Asia?
The sting of the Asian giant hornet can kill. And that's not just an expression of speech, but the tough truth earning them the nickname murder hornets. Entomologist Dr. Chris Looney explains.
Every year there are people in Japan that are hospitalized from multiple stings and some even die.
But he says the death toll numbers from these hornets, which can grow bigger than 2 inches, need to be put in context.
But on the grand scheme of risk to human health, it's low compared to all the...
A bee probably like that. That ain't like that. Bruh.
Their threat is particularly vicious to honeybees. They crawl into the hive and rip off the heads of bees and are capable of wiping out an entire hive in hours. And it's this threat to bees that has local...
Now look, if y'all don't know, bees are important to the earth. They pollinate plants and all that other stuff. So if these murder hornets is killing the bees, then it ain't no bees to pollinate the plants. And then they can't pollinate the plants. Ain't no bee on plants. Then it ain't gonna be no trees. Then it ain't gonna be no oxygen. You get what I'm saying? I know a little bit. I don't know everything, but I know a little bit.
Local beekeepers and government agencies extremely worried. The hornet is native to Asia, but it was spotted in North America last year.
Hold on. Pause. Wait a minute. They said they just found it this year, 2020. So really, they got bit over here a whole year, and we just now finding this out. Boy, I tell you, boy, Trump be lying. They be lying.
Now, Looney and others are springing into action, setting traps of jars with different liquids to trap.
We are basing our trapping program off of things that have been effective in Japan and Korea, where people have been living with this species for a very long time, and there are robust public survey programs, much like the one we're counting on Washington stakeholders to execute for us.
But there's a catch. If they don't catch a queen hornet, the traps are only there to see if a population exists in the state. So they are plotting for summer, when the queens settle and the workers go out from their nests. Then they will use tracking devices and heat sensors to find the nests.
And we will send out a team in our special protective hornet suits with an insecticidal dust and kill that localized nest. And then we'll dig it up and see what we can learn from it.
The Washington State Department of Agriculture
ground.
said that while it has received hundreds of reports, there has only...
So they nest in the ground. Not saying, you know what I'm saying, I don't know what the hornet nest look like. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what a hornet nest look like. I ain't trying to be a gun. I done seen yellow jackets and wasps. You know, wasps, they make the little dirt thing hanging up on the, you know, the little dirt corner. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. Ain't seen no hornet. You know what I'm saying? Look at that guy, boy.
Known as is Asian giant hornets. Now, you guys saw me stung by something known as the Japanese giant hornet in 2018, and that is one of the world's largest Asian hornet species. There are multiple subspecies, and the one that showed up in the Pacific Northwest is an Asian hornet of some sort, but that does not mean that there is an outbreak of these insects that are about to take over the U.S. Question.
So back in 2018, he got stung by one of these guys. But he said it ain't gonna take over the U.S. No.
Are they? Well, given their name, giant hornets, they're really big. In fact, most of the largest species measure close to 2 inches in length with a 3-inch wingspan. In Japan, they refer to the Japanese giant hornet as the great sparrow bird. This is because the insect is so large, it resembles a bird when it's flying through the air. In fact, they're so loud, it almost sounds like an Apache helicopter is getting ready to land if one flies by you. So trust me.
All right, bro, you over-exaggerating. He over-exaggerating that. That thing ain't that big. It look like a bird. And talk about it sound like a Apache or helicopter, whatever he said. Y'all know I can't talk about country. But
You're going to hear it far before you see it coming. Question number 3, how did they get here? Well, first of all, let's not use the term they. Thus far, we have a single individual that has been found, and keep in mind, it was also dead, which means it's not going to be reproducing. And it didn't just get here on its own. A hornet like that cannot fly all the way across the ocean and end up in the United States.
bruh, quit lying.
It's physically impossible. The animal would have exhausted itself, died, and fallen into the ocean far before it made landfall. The way that it likely got here was on a cargo ship. This is one way that a lot of invasive species end up on our soil. They stow away on a boat. Once the boat docks, it realizes it's on land, it escapes the boat, and lo and behold, it's out there in the environment for us humans here in the United States to encounter. So that is likely how this hornet ended up in the Pacific Northwest. Question number 4, how many are here now? To be honest with you, I am not sure. Is there more than one? Possibly. Entomologists are specifically working on this topic now in the Pacific Northwest to determine whether or not a nest and a colony has formed. If that is the case, one...
That's what I was talking about, that little nest right there. But dude would like dig it up, like, so is they in the ground or are they above the ground? Y'all make up y'all mind now.
They find it, it will be eradicated, and it is unlikely that the spread of the hornets will go any further than that. So the concept of them moving from Washington to New York City in the next 18 months, completely unlikely. Question number 5,
like
how painful...
Just like they see the corona, the COVID-19, Rona, Miss Rona, whatever you want to call it, just like they say, they're unlikely. Yeah, whatever.
Is the sting. Second most painful insect sting in the world, according to Coyote Peterson. The pain is excruciating. It feels like someone has shoved a red-hot poker into your arm and does not remove it for close to 6 hours. After I was stung, my arm had swollen up to nearly twice its original size, and I was in intense pain for almost 36 hours. Trust me, it is not something you want to get stung by. But also keep in mind, it is only the second most painful sting. The most painful sting goes to the true king, the executioner wasp. Trust me, you don't want to be stung by that one either. Question number 6, how potent is the venom? Well, it's quite potent, and keep this in mind. A larger insect is going to have a larger venom.
Oh, wait. So that's it? That top left?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man? Bro, I'm out, man. That nigga's tripping.
Stop playing with me. I'll tell you that, man. That new man do look like a bird. Wow. Oh my God.
Got him! Got him! That means a single 2-inch hornet is going to inject more venom in its sting than something like your typical backyard hornet. Now, who needs to be afraid? Honestly, nobody. Nobody that's human, that is. Now, beekeepers definitely need to be aware because it's the bees that do need to fear the hornets. What the hornets will do is come in and decimate an entire colony. By stinging and decapitating all the worker bees, they work their way in, eventually kill the queen, and then they eat all of the larvae. Beekeepers would definitely need to try to protect their colonies from these hornets. The biggest threat is that the hornets would come in and wipe out our honeybees.
But like I was saying, like, if they kill the bees, ain't no honey, ain't no population. I mean, I said population. Ain't no populating the flowers and stuff, but them honeybees, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, that mean there ain't gonna be no more honey? Cause he talking about the other bee know how to kill it. So is that the pollinating bee? I don't know.
From a safe distance, get a photograph. Properly identify the species, and then they will get in touch with entomologists that can come out into your area and determine whether or not there is a hive or colony that has taken root in an area near you. Question number 10. Is the hype real?
The stinger went into my arm. I had this like a wave came over me and I got super dizzy. Almost didn't feel what was happening. And then the pain just was like...
First of all, he doing it on a rock. He doing it on a rock where he could fall off. Hey, for what they saying, bro, I don't care too much what they saying anyway. You know what I'm saying? Y'all be safe out here. Stay away from Rome. Stay away from these murder hornets. Stay away from all these folk that just out and about and ain't caring about other folk. And then like, subscribe, and share, and tell a friend, tell their 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 friend about that money, man. You already know. My savage ass! Stop playing with me. Shawty say she love me now, bitch. I ain't having it. Got too many hoes, bitch. The beach dug on that. Plus I heard my nigga hit. I ain't going back. Pull up, jump out with the stick. Bustin' hoes, party lit. Moneymane up in the bitch. Stealing hoes, putting lit. Get your girl up on my dick. I ain't tryna cuff a bitch. Moving fast, moving quick. Now all friends all on my